M trade.
I've got a take, by the way, that's going to melt all your ice up there. The fumble through the end zone touchback for the other team rule is actually good. That's a good rule.
Okay.
It's a good rule.
I know Haydad disagrees. This is not a rule that he's liked in the past.
So it happened last night. If for those of you out there that you didn't watch Bills Chiefs, the Bills were down 3 in the fourth quarter and ran a fake punt. Damar Hamlin, of all people, got stopped short on their own 30, ran a fake punt. Who was it? Pacheco that had the long run but got pushed out right before the goal line, and then the Chiefs lined up and obviously snapped the ball again, dove for the corner of the end zone, fumbled the ball, and the ball went across the goal line out of the side of the end zone, which is a touchback given back to Buffalo.
If the ball breaks the plane of the end zone and then goes out of bounds, it becomes a touchback possession to the other team.
And what I've thought for the longest time, and what a lot of people think, is that needs to be treated just like a regular fumble. The ball gets put, if it goes forward and out of bounds, the ball comes back to where the ball was fumbled. But the end zone is special. You can't treat the end zone like every other yard line on the field. It is special by design. Mm-hmm. So, yes, you should have a special rule for the end zone as opposed to a regular yard line because it is different. And then people would be reckless with ball security. You should be punished for fumbling in that spot in that special zone.
And there's already a unique rule about fumbling the ball forward that he thinks this is a hot take, that he thinks the rule where a ball that is fumbled into the end zone that is not recovered by either team and goes out of bounds and results in a touchback, giving possession to the other team, should be changed. And part of his rationale was the end zone is a special place, and so it's okay to have a special rule and treat that situation differently. I think, Borky, this would add to your argument. We already have a situation in the rule book where we treat fumbles differently. First down, second down, third down, you fumble the football wherever it is recovered. If it's recovered by the offense, that's where the ball is spotted. And if it results in a first down, congratulations. Ball can get kicked, punched, bounced around, whatever. Let's say it ends up 35 yards downfield and it's recovered. Congratulations. If the offense recovered it, that is the new line of scrimmage, first down. However, if you fumble the ball forward on fourth down and it is recovered by the offense, then the ball is spotted where the fumble occurred, not where it's recovered. Right? So think you're in a college football game and you've got 4th and 3 and you're going for it, and a hit happens at the after a gain of 2 yards. But you fumble it forward, and it's either recovered by your teammates or it goes out of bounds past the yard line to gain for a first down. The ball comes back to where the fumble occurred, and you wouldn't gain the first down. So we already have a special rule for a certain situation on fumbles. So what would you propose the rule being? Do you come back and spot the ball where the fumble occurred, or do you make it an even more unique rule where it's more penal for fumbling the ball into the end zone for a touchback if it goes out of bounds without being recovered by the defense? Do you move it back to the 10-yard line and say you retain possession, but this is a more significant penalty, or do you just put it where the fumble happened?
No, see, I'm okay with the offense losing the ball in this scenario. Somebody on the text line said, you're punishing the offense. Well, then don't fumble the ball. But I do like the idea of giving it to the defense where the fumble occurred, as opposed to making that a touchback and giving them the ball on the 20. That's a nice modification, actually. You give them the possession. You treat the end zone differently because it is different. But also, you don't give them a net of 18 yards or whatever.
But hold on a second. You don't give the defense possession if there's not a clear defensive recovery anywhere else on the field of play. Why would you give them possession just because the ball went out of bounds.
Because the end zone's different than anywhere else on the field. I like treating the end zone differently. It is not the 30-yard line or the 50-yard line or the 25. It's the end zone.
But if you throw an interception where a ball is intercepted in the end zone and a knee's taken, it's a touchback. You don't go back to where the ball was released from the quarterback's hand.
Yeah, because that could be from anywhere on the field. I mean, with Josh Allen, it can be on their own 20 with the ball that he threw last night. That was dropped, by the way, by Diggs, who's going to have a really cool tweet later about it, I'm sure. Fumbles different than interceptions. Or maybe you just put it back on the 20 and treat those the exact same. It's turnover, right? Losing possession of the ball. I just don't. The more I think about it, the less I hate it. Hold on to the football. Protect it more. Because you're not as protected in that spot of the field. I like treating it differently.
Let me ask you this. What if it's a fourth down fumble that goes into the end zone without clear recovery, then the defense gets the ball where it was fumbled. But let's say you're running toward the end zone and it gets punched out from behind and it goes through the end zone and nobody recovers it and it goes to the defense and they get it at the 20. In that scenario, do you give it back to the offense? Or you want change of possession regardless?
Change of possession regardless.
You just don't want it at the 20-yard line.
I'm cool with it being at the 20. I think it would be better at the spot of the fumble. But, yeah,
Okay.
After I watched that last night, I thought, maybe this isn't as bad as people think it is. Hold on to the football. Protect the ball.
Clown says it's the stupidest rule in football, and it always has been. If you fumble out of the end zone, it's a touchback. That's always been the stupidest rule, in my opinion. You're rewarding a defense that does nothing to deserve it. The ball should be placed at the spot of the fumble and then go on to the next play. And if it was a fourth down fumble, then the defense gets it. But if it's a third down fumble, you go back, or, first down. Hey, Dad, you hate this rule. Why do you hate it?
Because at the end of the day, there is no loss of possession. You fumble the ball out of the end zone, that's fine, but the defense didn't recover it. I don't understand. I've never understood how there can be a change of possession when the defense doesn't take the ball away. That bothers me, and that's why I think this is a dumb rule. And I don't necessarily know because, if you fumble it at the 6 and it goes out the back of the end zone where we're going to spot it, I would say spot it at the 6. But I get that there can be some issues there, but when there's no change of possession, there's no change of possession. That's how I look at it.
Tim in Ridgeland says it's always been a ridiculous rule. The end zone is special, therefore the defense gets possession. Place the ball at the 2 or the 3. Don't penalize the fumbling team by tacking on field position as a punishment of an additional 17 to 18 yards.
I'm cool with that. It's a perfectly fine compromise to me.
Yeah. I don't know that that's a super hot take, but anyway.
Just the second it happened last night, everybody, dumbest rule in sports. And in my head, hold on to the ball.
Yeah.
Protect the ball. And then you don't have to worry about the dumbest rule in sports if you don't fumble the ball.
Jeff says it's not a bad rule unless it affects your team. Yeah, I mean, I guess if you're the beneficiary of it, you like the rule in that situation, but you can still, as a whole, like if you remove your team from the situation, maybe it can be a bad rule. Somebody said plus a fourth down fumble cannot be advanced by the offense other than a muff punt. That's correct. Let's see here. You're right, Borky. Only 2 end zones. That's from Dwayne and Brandon. Let's see here. Because that particular...
He's trying to say end zone there. I think he's voice texting.
Oh, okay.
Because that particular end zone is technically the defense's end zone that they're defending.
Somebody says giving the defense from the point of the fumble is almost a punishment because the defense forced the fumble. But not always.
Sometimes you drop it. But it's still,
Why help the defense out of the end zone with a fumble because they didn't recover the ball either, so it's just hurting the offense and helping the defense. Yes, I hate the rule too. Feels like most people don't like the rule, especially when you give more to the defense than just possession of the ball.
Bart says it's being changed. So they're going to consider it, but apparently league ownership is not really keen on making that change right now. So that will be an off-season thing, but apparently the early feedback from owners was there's more important things to worry about than that.
Kyle says, as far as bad rules go, I don't like players being able to push runners forward.
Ooh.
I don't mind that.
Why not? Isn't that the essence of the game, is being physical?
Yeah, I mean, that's everything is about going forward. And if you push your guy forward, who cares?
And
the other guy's trying to push him back.
The defense has an advantage because the offense has 10 guys that can use both of their hands. The defense has 11 guys that can use both of their hands. Somebody's got to carry that ball. I don't hate the fact that if a running back gets held up by a linebacker, his lineman can come up behind him and knock him forward, because a defender can come up behind the linebacker and knock him backwards. You have to gang tackle. It's a violent game, or at least it's supposed to be.
Yeah, it is. But when you've only got to get 1 yard, that's awfully hard for the defense. It almost makes it more impressive when you see a defense stop one of those plays.
Yeah.
If you've got Jalen Hurts or Josh Allen running that play, I don't know.
Have you seen the new thing that defensive tackles are doing, more specifically like nose tackles, on spikes? So when they know that the quarterback's going to spike the ball, they will dive underneath the center's legs and try to intercept it. Next time, if you're watching a close game, watch the nose tackle closely on a spike. They are diving between the center's leg to try to intercept the ball as it's getting spiked to the ground. So if you have a quarterback that rears back to spike it, he's going to get picked off soon. It's going to happen.
Yeah. Spiking the ball is one of those plays that teams make harder than it has to be.
Mm-hmm.
That ball should never come above knee height. If you take a direct snap, it ought to just be straight down. Might even be a way that you get away with a fumble. It's like if you're kind of bobbling the snap and you make it look like you're spiking it.